Leads not closing, you're fixing the wrong thing. If you've been getting leads that aren't closing and you've already tried switching sources, tightening your targeting, or changing your follow up, and nothing's changed, this video is for you. Because the problem isn't your leads, it's one specific variable in your sales process called win rate. And once you know which part of that variable is broken, the fix is straightforward. If you appreciate me making this type of content, let me know by gently tapping that like button. Here we go. My name's James Miller. I spent 6 years taking a manufacturing company from $10 million to $123 million exit. We grew EAR specialty composites from 10 million to 43 million in annual revenue and grew gross margins from 12% to 55%, resulting in an acquisition by a Fortune 100 company for $123 million. I've been in rooms where every revenue problem you can imagine had to be diagnosed and fixed fast because the stakes were real. Now I work with business owners to identify exactly where their sales process is breaking down, help them diagnose, and then fix it. And the problem this video addresses is one of the most common and most fixable that I see. So here's what typically happens when leads stop closing. The business owner looks at the situation and thinks the leads must be the problem. So they do one of three things: they switch lead sources, they increase ad spend, or they hire someone new to handle the follow up. And a few months later, the numbers look exactly the same. That's because the diagnosis was wrong. In almost every case I've seen, the leads aren't the problem. The problem is something inside the marketing and sales process that nobody's measuring. And when you're not measuring it, you can't fix it. You just keep spending money on symptoms. The key insight is that your marketing and sales processes are not operationally aligned to serve your ideal client. The sales velocity equation. There's an equation that I use with every business owner I work with. It's called the sales velocity equation, and it looks like this: sales velocity equals the number of opportunities times win rate times average deal value divided by the sales cycle length. Four variables. Every revenue problem you have lives inside one of those four numbers. But in my experience, the true diagnosis is hidden in how well your marketing and sales processes are aligned to serve your ideal client. The fastest and least costly way to find a solution is almost always found by consistently tracking the result of the sales velocity equation every week. Focus your team on fixing the one worst variable of the four. In the case of a poor win rate, it's usually one of a combination of three things: opportunity quality, deal value, or timing. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do. Win rate is simply the percentage of leads that actually become clients. And here's what makes it tricky. The win rate breaks down in three specific ways. Each one has a different cause and a different fix. And if you're applying the wrong fix to the wrong break, you'll spin for months without moving the number. Subvariable 1, opportunity quality. All right, the first way win rate breaks is opportunity quality. This is when you're talking to people who look like leads but aren't actually qualified to buy. They might have the pain you solve, but they don't have the budget, the authority, or the ownership, or the urgency to make the decision right now. The symptom is straightforward. Marketing is pulling in leads that sales process isn't converting. And the hidden cost beyond lost revenue is the time your team spends on conversations that were never going to close, which inflates your sales cycle stats across the board. The fix isn't a new lead source, it's tightening your qualification criteria at the front of the pipeline. Here's how to check if this is your break. Look at the last 10 deals you lost. If the majority shared the same one or two characteristics — wrong company size, wrong budget range, wrong decision making authority — you have an opportunity quality problem. The fix is aligning your marketing narrative directly to your ideal client's pain so that by the time a prospect reaches a sales conversation, they've already connected what the problem is costing them to the value of your solution. When that connection is clear, the close isn't a pressure moment, it's simply, let's fix this now. Subvariable 2, perceived value. The second way win rate breaks is perceived value. This is where the prospect understands what you do, but they don't yet believe the outcome is worth the price. The gap isn't found in product or service price. It's found in the conversation before the ask or proposal is offered. I see this constantly with business owners who are strong on delivery but haven't built the case for value before they try to close. They jump to the offer before the prospect has fully connected their own financial and emotional pain to the cost of not solving it. The fix is building more value earlier in the marketing and sales conversation, not by detailing your solution, but by helping the prospect quantify what their problem is actually costing them. When that number is clear and the value of your solution meets or exceeds it by producing a return on investment the client can articulate themselves and agree with, the close becomes a natural next step rather than a pressure moment. Quick break. If you want to know which of these three win rate breaks is showing up in your specific business, I built a free diagnostic that identifies exactly where your marketing and sales process is misaligned and stalling. It takes about 5 minutes and it will show you the one variable to fix first. Scan the QR code here now to find out. The link is also in the description and the pinned comment below. go.sologrowth-ai.com/diagnostic. Subvariable 3, timing. Now, the third way win rate breaks is timing. This is where the length of your sales cycle is working against you. You're either moving too fast before the prospect is ready to decide, or too slow, losing them to inertia or a competitor. Bottom line, your deals are not closing predictably. What the sales velocity equation tracks here is the average time it takes per deal to go from first conversation to close, not your follow up timing. So keep that distinction in mind. Moving too fast looks like this. You have a strong first call. The prospect seems interested. You send over the proposal and then silence. You don't lose them because the offer was wrong. You asked for the decision before they'd built enough trust to say yes. And if you don't know why they're pushing back, why they're delaying, ghosting, or saying no, the worst time to find out is after you've sent the proposal. The best time was in the discovery conversation when they were still open. The fix is asking the right discovery questions early about their true motivation for change and the value they place on solving it. That's what keeps your sales velocity number growing week over week. Moving too slow looks like this. The cycle stretches out over weeks or months, urgency fades, other priorities take over, and the deal quietly dies. I had this happen firsthand. I flew to Boise to meet an engineer at HP's printer facility who needed help solving an acoustic problem on a new printer design. He seemed urgent. We met in the morning, looped in our engineers from Indianapolis, built a proposed solution, ran tests with material from my sample kit that same afternoon, and the results were positive. He asked for a quote. I felt good about it. Then he went dark. Because of his apparent urgency, I skipped my usual discovery questions. It took me months to find out he'd been let go, and there was nobody at that facility moving his projects forward. Everyone lost in that deal. And the lesson I took from it was simple. Always ask the tough discovery questions, no matter how fast the prospect wants to move. I would have uncovered what was driving his urgency and been in a much better position to create a real outcome. The fix for timing is a defined next step at the end of every single conversation. Not, I'll follow up, but a specific commitment to a specific action with a specific date attached. That one discipline alone will shorten your sales cycle measurably. How to diagnose your break. So, how do you figure out which of the three breaks you actually have? You track your sales velocity week by week and you look at where the deals are dying in your pipeline. If they're dying before the first real conversation, that's subvariable 1. Opportunity quality. If they're dying after the first or second meeting, that's subvariable 2. Perceived value. If they're dying after proposal or late in a long cycle, that's subvariable 3, timing. You don't need a complicated system to do this. You need to know at which point in your pipeline you're losing the most opportunities and then apply the right fix to that specific break, one variable at a time. The reason leads aren't closing for most business owners has nothing to do with the quality of their leads. It has everything to do with which part of win rate is broken and whether they've diagnosed it correctly by consistently tracking their sales velocity results in a chart. I recommend posting the results in the office or in Slack so the team can see this important feedback and understand how they're contributing to the results each week. Start there. The numbers will tell you what to fix. And if you want to go deeper on what happens when prospects go silent before you ever get to a close, I made a video on exactly that. You can check it out by clicking right here.